front tube's in there, so I've just got the two through and tacked it down the bottom here. So the top tube is connected now to the rising tube from the bottom of the front cage. So you can see in underneath there that I've made a couple of plates basically. So what we're going to do now, and there's another plate on the inside around here as well, in there. So what we're going to do now, I've done the same on the other side. So the bottom tube comes up through that back of the bulkhead, and then it's coming into the top tube just down here. You can see it peeping through. I haven't had to be so severe with the cutting out on this because obviously we were able to replicate from the other side and find out where the holes were going to be, but I've still made similar plates to go on the inside there to weld all that back up again. So these at the moment are loose, but obviously you've got to feed the tube through them before you can weld them. So I'm going to lift it off the sill stands now, and then what we'll do is we'll flick the car upside down and we can get to weld those properly. But otherwise that's all good on that side. Okay, so we flipped it over and now you can see where the plates are inside. So just got a bit of welding to do and a bit of repositioning on those, make sure they get in the right place. But that's putting massive amounts of strength back in there, which is good. So we'll get those welded up and then we'll see what she looks like. Right, well they're welded in. Not too bad generally, but had a bit of blowing through up here because obviously it's like welding thick stuff to tin foil in some places. Thank you, Lancia. Just need to tidy up some of that really with the grinder, but it's generally speaking not too bad on that. But gonna have to flick the car over now and have a look on the other side. I'll just flick you across there. We can have a look on this side here. So similar thing again, got that coming up through and the reinforcing plates back in place afterwards, so at least we've got those there. So I'm going to flick the car back over now and then address the top side. Hello again. Right, so I've been having a look at these door bars, and we've actually now got them in on the other side. I tell you what though, if you did not have one of these spits for turning this car over, then geez, it'd be real hard work. I've been climbing in and out like a contortionist trying to get that done. But anyway, we managed to get those welded in. That's on that side. And now I'm going to have a look on this side and we'll try and get these ones in too. And let's see what she looks like. Well, it's momentous. We've now got door bars both sides. And I've also been right around the cage, and as far as I can see, she is fully welded. So that is good news, and it means that we can now move on to the next stage, which is getting it ready for paint. There's just one little thing that we have got to do yet. We've just offered up the dash in the front basically, which obviously at the moment you can see is not there. I just needed to have a look and see what we're going to do to make it fit. So in other words, we're going to have to trim the ends of it off, but we always knew that. So the two side vents, one at each end of the dash, that's probably where the upright, so where this upright comes down here, that'll be where the dash is going to get cut, and we'll do that on both sides obviously, one on the driver's side, one this side. Just a quick look at these strut towers. So where the tube comes through from the cage on the inside, I've just put these reinforcing plates in and then fixed back to the inner wing as well. So we've done that on both sides, and the other thing that I've done is I've also installed some nice looking A-pillar reinforcing plates each side there. So we're ready to go. What I've got to do now is cut the ends off the dash, get that offered in, and then I can get this crossbar put in at the right height. Happy days. I've offered up the dash because what I'm going to have to do is trim the end of it off basically. So you can see here where we've got the end of the dash, and what's happened is the where the bars come down, they're going to foul right in the way of where the end of the dash goes. Now measuring it up, it looks like I need to take about 35mm off each end, which isn't going to be a major problem. On the Delta, this part of the dash here is actually square ended, but on the Prisma she's got a taper, so that's actually going to help us, I think, because we'll have less intrusiveness, if you like, on the bars. But what I'm going to do is I'll plate the end of that off, and the actual dash itself is going to be flocked, so you're not going to see any of that work there. So we'll try and build that up with a bit of plastic on the end of it and reattach it. But when I've got the dash trimmed, we'll offer it up. What I'm trying to do is determine where the steering column is going to be in relation to everything, so we can get this front bar put across. So that's the next stage. Right, there's the dash out. I've marked this up now, so we've got 35mm. I've just gone off the end, and we're going to take that off back there. I've done the same on the other end here. So we can always take a bit more off afterwards, but as I say, you can't put it back on again. So what we'll do is we'll chop that off, and we're going to use the air saw for that. So these are great because they've got like a little hacksaw blade in the end, which vibrates like hell. And if I could chop it with a grinder, but I think if I stuck the grinder in it, it's just going to melt everything. So we'll try with that air saw, cut that off, and then we'll have a look and see what it's like in the car against the cage. Here's the dash mounted in, and you can see there where the trim off the end of it is just clearing the side of the cage there, so that's bob on. I've also fitted temporarily the steering column and the support down there for the pedal box as well. The actual pedal box that we're using, I've had this from Comp Brake basically, and it's a bias box that's going on there, so that replaces the servo. And you just have a pair of twin cylinders in there, one for the front circuit, one for the back, and then you can adjust it via a knob, so you can adjust your bias on the fly basically. But the next job we need to do is sorting out inside for where the seats are going to be mounted on the two rails that we've got there. So we're just going to mount up a seat with some of the side rail mounting brackets. We can offer that in position. We now know where obviously the centre line is because we've mounted the steering column. And then we can tack weld those on there, get them in the right place, and the same on the passenger seat as well. So we'll have a look at that and see where we go. Right, there's the seat offered up, so what I'm going to do now is just jump in there and just make sure we've got it centralised to where it needs to be in relation to the steering column. And the other issue that we have got, of course, is how far it sits back. And at the moment you can see it's quite tight to the cage, so we've got to have a little bit of clearance there. So I just need to have a bit of a sit in there and just see if we've got the forward and backward position in the right place as well. And then what we can do is mount those brackets that are just being cleaned up, and they're going to go on here for something for the sides to bolt down to. Right, so I've just temporarily mounted the seat onto the rail runners there, and then just basically gone in there and welded the rail down to the tube. So that's in a good position. I'm going to flick that one off, and then we'll go on to the other side and do the other one. Just a quick one on this dash, which was obviously designed early 80s, I would say, maybe sorry, late 70s maybe even. There's no cup holder at all. quite disgraceful, but we have managed to be able to support the McDonald's orange juice in such a position, and I reckon we could probably get about 6 or 7 of those across there. Time will tell. In other news today, we've got a fuel tank scenario. So what we've got down there, I think it's Comp Brake that have done that as well. They've done a few good bits for us. From the tank in there, and we're going to have a splash bowl filler just up here, so you open the boot and away you go. So I've just got to get a tube between the two and just modify that over there a little bit. It comes with all of the flow return, etc., and it's got a fuel sender in it as well, which is cool. So it's not too huge, but should just do the job for a bit of scatter event and obviously a bit of hill climb as well. So happy days. So we've got all the dash and everything in, which we showed before, but I'm just going to take you back because we were going to put a bar across underneath, and there is absolutely no chance that that's going to happen with using the original dash. So basically the cage is pretty much finished now. I've just done one other reinforcing plate down here, which takes it to the B pillar, and I'll do the same on the other side, but I can't get to that at the moment because we've got a seat in. And we just thought we'd just offer up the harnesses on there as well, just so we can see what that's like. But basically that is in its final resting place, and it's all bolted down and welded on the bottom there, and it looks pretty cool is what we're saying. So that is a good point for us to sign out this week, this month actually, because it's been a long time since I posted the last one. Thanks for all the good comments that I've been getting, and the Facebook group have been liking that as well, Lancia Motor Club there. But next time we're going to add a little bit more, hopefully, to getting it ready for paint, and then we'll get that paint gone out and start making it white. Happy days, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, thanks for watching Otto's Garage.